Hello, everybody.
Hey y'all. We made it.
Week
We
two.
made it to the 46. We're good now. Things are going to improve. Hopefully.
Let's go back in time for like a good 20 minutes.
I'm just feeling a sigh of relief that nobody was like assassinated or anything crazy happened within the span between the last episode and this episode. Like, as long as y'all are alive and there, we can find something to work with. Just saying.
What a start.
Well, with that, welcome to a new episode of What Are You?
Hello,
Okay,
hello.
all right. No,
Hello,
you
everybody.
usually leave the check-in, I'll do it this time.
Okay.
Hi, Ray. Ray, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Aja. I hope everybody's chilling, literally, because it's snowing outside. I hope everyone's having a nice, warm second week of the semester. But I'm doing all right. I'm feeling a little bittersweet today. Today marks the 1-year anniversary of losing both Kobe and his daughter to the plane crash, which is kind of wild, honestly, to think about. Helicopter. I keep saying plane, but my bad. But yeah, no, it's been a year, and honestly, like, it doesn't seem like a year. It seems like 10 years have gone by. Just because I remember the discussions we had here at CU Denver in person, talking about it and like seeing what he's done, and it still doesn't feel as if he's gone. I thought he was just like, just chilling, but yeah, it's been a year, and so definitely RIP to the Mamba, but the Mamba mentality still stays with us, and so I'm super excited to just keep that like energy that he had alive with many of his fans, me included. But yeah, it was just one of those days, like it's wild to think about. So, how you doing, Aja? You got your lipstick on. You got your shirt on. You know what I
mean? Real hot girl shit. Real new president shit. No, anybody who knows me knows that I am an avid Megan listener, Megan fan. I know all the words to Big Old Freak. Like, you name a song, like I know it. Like, the Megan Thee Stallion is my happy place.
There you go.
The only time I can get like hyped up to just do the things is listening to Megan. Just like bopping along, writing papers and shit. It's more like a hot girl semester, but
we doing it. We here.
I'm trying. Oh, it's hard. No, but I am all right. Like you said, it's snowing outside. I got my I was gonna call it privilege juice, but I got my coffee.
Your privilege juice?
It's Starbucks. What? No, I got my Starbucks. I have coffee, so that's good. I'm a little bit more energetic. I got maybe 5 hours of sleep, so I'm not running on fumes. I'm running on steam. I don't know if that's any better, but
I mean, baby steps,
it's supposed
dude.
to be.
Baby steps. There you go.
Yeah.
So we are here. This episode is going to be talking about all the things that are going on in politics. We apologize if we talk about politics, but we can't stop, and we won't stop talking about politics because it surrounds a lot of our aspects of our lives, just as much as it does for everyone else who's listening. So yeah, we're just gonna get into it, starting with the inauguration. Like, I think it started at 9 Mountain Time, but it started a little bit later on the East Coast. Yeah. But what did you think, Aja? Like, there's a lot of things on my mind that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah. Okay, first of all, I just have to give a little quick mention to what happened with J-Lo. Black Twitter went off on that. It was hilarious. Okay, it was funny. It was funny. I'm just saying, my Twitter timeline was amazing on Ignoration Day. And
What?
Ignoration Day.
Wait, what happened with JLo? I'm confused.
No, I just can't say inauguration. It's fine.
Oh yeah, no.
Mm.
I think that was like the hardest word of the month for everyone to spell slash like send out. Like it
Slash
was,
think about.
yeah.
Just saying. um, but no, the poet laureate was amazing, absolutely
Yes.
incredible, and I saw a lot of outlets talking about um, work versus where she came from and what she's been through, which I was very happy to see, because too often a lot of media outlets will feed into that, like, oh, this person came from humble roots, and oh, look at how deserved they were by the institutions. Just like, yes, but what about their accomplishments?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
What about that? Did you forget about that? Read people by their accomplishments, not by where they're from, because by saying, oh, despite all of this, you've been this, completely discounts what they've been through. It's like, oh, there's no way you can do all these amazing things with what you've been through. No. So those are my thoughts about that. But the jewel toned coats and outfits and Michelle Obama, okay. That is bitch at the election. I'm just saying. Election, inauguration. But
I
I'm
mean,
just saying, she looked amazing. I saw these memes about her like taking out her soak press in the limo like before they walk up and stuff, and it was funny. But no, it was just good to see a gathering that um, didn't have a bunch of white supremacists. Just saying.
yeah.
Like nobody got shot or no like tear gas thrown, no anything. So I'm thankful that the inauguration went by without needless violence,
Yeah.
and that the accomplishments of people of color, especially, you're gonna have to help me here because I forgot his name, but he basically saved a bunch of representatives when the insurrection was going on and
Oh,
led.
the Capitol Police, the Capitol Police officer who got
Yes,
upgraded to
yes,
security. Yes.
yes. You know what I'm talking about. Yes,
Yes. Yes. I
but
do
it
know who
was
you're
great
talking
to
about.
see that. We'd love to see it.
Yeah.
Um, but it was, I was only able to see a little bit of it because I had other meetings and
Mm.
things to attend to. But I liked seeing that gathering and all of the tranquility that was there, and
Yes.
just a sigh of relief.
For sure. Yeah, no. I definitely felt the same way. Like, shout out to my practicum, because we were supposed to do like orientation that day, but then a lot of them like the day before they're like, you know what, we'll give you all that 2 hour period to watch it. It's historic. Watch it.
Yeah.
Watch it with your friends. Watch it with like your classmates. Like just watch it. Like this is if we weren't in COVID times, you would probably be there. And I'm like, I would. And yeah, no, it was definitely like all that in one. I didn't know JLo was going to be there until literally the last second when the announcer was like, and now presenting Jennifer Lowe. I split my head and I was like, oh. And I ran to the TV, took many pictures for my mom, my
Let's
mamacita,
get
who was
loud.
like, I was like blasting Spotify. Um, she did amazing. I saw this amazing woman in this flowy, fluffy dress, and I was like, "Is this the Queen of America? Like, what is going on here?" It was Lady Gaga, and I was like,
Mhm.
"She's doing like that was the first time I've listened to the national anthem." And I was like, "Oh my gosh! Like, I'm feeling good. Like, I'm feeling like really good about things." Um, and yes, like pop off with Michelle Obama and Dr. Biden, who wore amazing colors in pantsuits. The outfit of 2021. Pantsuits 4 days. Because everyone had one. Everyone's like, yo, we're ready to go to work. We're ready to knock it out. Let's do it.
The coats, the jewel tones, those are the moves.
It's actually interesting because I think someone pointed this out to me, that purple represented the doctorate level of education. And so each like person wore a different like shade of purple or a different shade of that to represent that they had a PhD in law, medicine, stuff like that. And, and so it was like a really good like, tip of the hat to like all the people who've earned that doctor's name without going into medicine or without like being the stereotypical like, oh, but you're not a doctor. Like, no, they are doctors. They've achieved that. Let them flow it the way they do, and they did. And yeah, it was just very amazing just to watch, Joe Biden do his speech and being like, yo, like, we're gonna knock this out. We got to hit the ball running. Let's go. And I'm paraphrasing this speech, so it's not too much. And I think like a lot of everyone who was saying like, yo, this is just nice to watch. Like it's a sigh of relief. We get to go back to work. We get to do things. And it's just good to kind of get the ball rolling, I guess. But we still have to put a pause on that a little bit, which, it doesn't really need to be a pause on, but what have you. But we still have to put a pause on because we need to go back at least 2 weeks. Not even 2 weeks, 20 days. 20 days ago, where the insurrection happened. We kind of have to do like a really like quick little timeline on that, where on January 6th, it was the runoff elections for Georgia. Everyone forgot about that. But, that was the time that all the Georgian voters had to vote for their Senate like elections. People were waking up, trying to see the numbers, trying to see where they was going. Obviously, they didn't learn from November of the process because obviously the in-person votes came in first and then it started flowing in with the mail-in votes and stuff like that. So as that was going on, apparently there was talks weeks before about, the president using his Twitter platform to tell multiple people, hey, we're going to do this rally in the Capitol Mall, the National Mall, like we're going to talk about like how they cheated us out of the election, blah, 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 blah. So they have it, at the National Mall. There's a lot of phrases that a lot of people kind of raise an eyebrow being like, this isn't good to hear. Such as like, we'll fight like hell. They're not taking this away from us. This and that and the third. And when you have a group of people who've already been angry, who feel like they've been stolen like an election to add fuel to the fire, which basically that's been the phrase left and right now, it starts people getting angry. And obviously Trump, before the end of the rally, he was like, oh, we're just going to march down Capitol and we're going to take back, we're going to tell the Republicans that we need to do stuff. Because during that exact same day, the House and the Senate needed to do a full certification of votes. At this point, the process is that each state has to tell, hey, we're going to make sure, our votes are counted. We're going to make sure these are certified votes. And there was a small group of Republicans who were going to argue it. Basically, the process is they'll just go back to their House, they go back to the Senate, they argue, and they're like, I don't think this is right, this is voter fraud, blah, 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 blah. That's how it's supposed to be peacefully done. What didn't happen is that, that process didn't happen. Obviously, people started going to the Capitol, people started charging into the Capitol. Things got super chaotic, super dangerous. There was multiple groups who wanted to find Nancy Pelosi, AOC, Mike Pence. Like it got to the point where people were trying to find Mike Pence because he was totally on board with the transfer of power because he understood the way the election works and the way that like democracy works. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so like, so it got to the point where people were just like, okay, like this is nuts. We gotta calm this down. So finally, the Capitol Police started getting more support from National Guard, from Maryland, DC, Virginia, etc. They started pushing people back, and at this point, a lot of people were 1, scared, 2, fearful, and 3, angry. Because obviously they're like, y'all had the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers here for BLM, but what happened now? You know, and so.
And with all the delayed arrests that are happening, it's like, y'all literally had them right there.
Yeah.
Y'all had
And
them
so,
right there. They were there with zip ties, trying to like kidnap people, trying to like cause harm, literally killing a cop that they're like, Blue Lives Matter. It was never about fucking blue lives.
yeah,
It was
it
never
was,
about blue lives.
yeah. And so it was a lot of chaos. However, there have been arrests. You know, there's still more ongoing. FBI has been upping the price of like information to $75,000. So if you know anyone who's been there, definitely give the FBI a call if you want to get that guap. You know what I mean? But the more concerning issue that the House and the Senate have been talking about, mostly from Democrats, have been their own Congress people that have been kind of like siding with Trump when it comes to this. One of the notable ones have been our own Colorado's Lauren Boebert, who not only promised that she was going to bring a Glock onto the House floor, which you cannot do, cannot do. But during the insurrection, she had sent tweets on multiple like eliciting tweets of like where the Speaker of the House was, Nancy Pelosi, and like kind of insinuating that she kind of knew this was going to go on. And so her and like a multiple of others Twitter accounts have been suspended for a few days. But the biggest one was President Trump, who I think his Twitter account is still, yeah, I think it's still suspended, definitely. Which was the biggest thing from everybody, because now everyone's like, oh, like Twitter's not playing around. And so from there on, it, you know, activated a slew of waves from social media sites, from Facebook to Instagram to Spotify and Pinterest banning Trump.
Tumblr,
Tumblr,
Amazon.
And so this is cause for a lot of like, you know, it's my free right to speak whatever I want, like conversations, which again, like you totally can. Just know that I'm gonna get my $75,000 one way or the other. So, so that's where we are now. The House has they voted for the impeachment for Trump, and now the Senate has to go through with the impeachment trials, which, if everyone kind of like understands this, the House can impeach a president. The House can impeach a president like how many times. The Senate gets in charge of charging for those like charges. And so the first time that he got impeached, the Senate was in Republican power, and so they were like, there's not enough evidence to show this. He's just impeached, whatever. This time, with a Democrat majority Senate, this is where things could get a lot interesting for Trump, because not only will he lose all his revenue when it comes to his like allowances from being the president, but he can lose his Secret Service. He can actually get into jail, and he can potentially not hold a federal office ever again, which is the biggest thing, because a lot of people are like, he doesn't really need one. And at this point, a lot of the Republicans are like, we need to sever ties with this man, or we're all going down quicker than the Titanic. And that was a slow person. All right, you know, and so that's where we are with today when it comes to the impeachment. There's going to be more information to come, but the two major sides of like whether or not to go on with the impeachment trials is, hey, we got a lot of things going on right now, and so we need to stop the impeachment trial so we can like delay it so that the lawyers can get ready and stuff like that. Or, hey, we need to get this done lickety split, because we already know what he's like charged for. We already know what he's getting in trouble for, so we might as well just get it over with so we can knock this out so we can move on with our lives. Speaking of that, we have Biden's first 100-day plan, 100-day of executive orders. This is similar to like what Trump did 4 years ago when he started doing like executive orders left and right, which caused a slew of issues, which was a big thing. One of the biggest things he wants to do 100 million vaccinations within 100 days, which seems plausible at this point of how fast the vaccinations have been going. We've been getting drive-through vaccinations. We've been getting approved for vaccinations. So to everyone who's like listening, we hope that you get a vaccination as soon as possible. There's data that shows that it's safe, it's fine. So if you have the opportunity to get your vaccination, please get it. So we have the 100 million vaccinations. We're supposed to be getting those $2,000 of stimmies. So let's get those stimulus checks going.
Waiting on mine.
As of right now, the ban of trans individuals in the military has been lifted, thankfully. I totally forgot that was a thing. Mask mandates in federal locations such as airports, train stations, like federal offices, that has to be mask mandated right now, which is great.
And if I'm not wrong, he also asked Americans to wear a mask for 100 days.
Correct. Which
yes,
to me is like, okay, like I'll just keep doing my own life. But then to others, it's a very like, no, like whatever. So yes, please wear your mask. Like, this is common sense at this point. And so for his cabinet, we have many people. We have the first woman to serve for the Secretary of Treasury, which is great. We have the first Indigenous or Native woman to serve for the Secretary of Interior, which is great as well. And obviously, most notably, we have our first woman vice president, our first woman of color of vice president. We have all like
also multiracial.
Yes. So we have a lot of things going on, and it's happy times, y'all. Like we can just high five ourselves, slap ourselves on the back, we good to go. No, we're not. So you kidding me? Because I think this is the bigger thing that I think everyone needs to listen to, is that this administration wants unity. Everyone else understands this unity, and everyone else understands that we can be together and we can make sure we can fight COVID-19 so we can get back to our lives. However, there definitely needs to be a lot of accountability in these past 4 years, especially when it comes to, yet again, police brutality, like the way systemic racism. There's a lot of things that are built in that we're all kind of like, okay, like we can't really shoo this away, and we really need to talk about it. And so that kind of brings up the question of like, can we have unity with accountability, or are we just going to be petty and just be like me, who's like soaking up the Trump family tears and just being like, Melania, you did your job, girl. You did it great. Go on ahead. We're going to give you that pass. Not really, but we're going to let you.
She's still bad. What you talking about?
There's
She's
been
still bad.
There's been so many like TikToks I've seen of just Melania literally just like walking to the other side and just being like, and then she just like clocked in and clocked out, and it's just like, no, Melania, you dug your grave.
She's like, okay, Donald, I'm done now.
But that's the main topic. And I know there's a lot of negativity, and I know there's a lot of dark past between Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. That's known, and it's important to be accountable of them as well. I know it's like a new president, new life or whatever, but we need to have the utmost accountability on them just as much as we had on Trump. 1,000%. Like this isn't easy breezy, beautiful cover girl. We have to make sure that we have to keep our leaders accountable, or else like we're just not gonna get anything done. And I know like our listeners out there, you all are leaders. And so I encourage you to like be a leader in your, I don't know, board of school education, or like your organizations, or like your city halls and stuff like that. Like go out and do stuff. Like,
essentially what we're saying is create the change you want to see.
Couldn't have said better myself. There you go. But yes, that is like the whole timeline of what's been going on in the Biden administration. There's still going to be more things to come. But for next week, we are jumping into Black History Month. which I'm very excited about because we're not going to be talking about George Washington Carver and the peanut butter. You know, we're stopping all that, and we're going to talk about the now historic, you know, people of color in our time who have been making waves left and right, that hopefully will be in the history books later on, but we want to talk about it right now, and I'm really excited to be talking about that. So be excited. I hope everyone stays warm. Hope everyone like drinks that coffee. That privileged juice. Get out of here. People can drink their Starbies and be happy.
Sure.
Earn yourself that drink. Hope you stay warm, and we'll see you on the next episode of What Are You?
What are you? What